Hi, I would like to start this podcast with a trigger warning. We do talk about a lot of sensitive topics, such as pregnancy loss and being pregnant at a young age. If this may trigger you, please, this is the trigger warning for this. Thanks. Love, Stassi. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am so excited. I have a queen coming back to have her spotlight after being roasted in my 100th episode that you pointed out that you hadn't had a spotlight yet, which I love. You were on my list for the rest of the season. So I'm so excited to have Sims Royalty 22, aka Gabby, here today. So thank you so much for coming back.
Thank you for having me back again and again.
You are welcome. I mean, you're coming for some thrones, man. Kevin just knocked out the Disney Sim for the 12th time. Kev was on.
I'm coming now. I'm coming to everything.
You're coming to
I don't care if
everything.
it has nothing to do with me. I'm signing up.
I'm hosting a roundtable for just podcasts. Just come on. Just come join the one.
Never cared.
Yeah,
I
there you
listen
go.
to podcasts. That counts.
That's 100% counts. Well, Gabby, thank you so much for coming back today. For anyone, if this is their first podcast listening to this, welcome new listeners. I always love and appreciate you. Gabby, why don't you tell us a little about your Sims history and a little bit about yourself?
So my name is Gabby. I run the Simstagram account Sims Royalty 22. I have been playing since I was pretty young, actually. Um, I want to say 8 or 9. I started out playing Sims 2.
Mhm.
I think Sims 3 had just come out, and my mom made me play Sims 2 because we didn't really have Sims 3 that much yet. Um, and then my mom has played my entire life. So of course I want to do what she's doing.
Mhm.
And so then I started playing, and then I moved through. I've gone through just playing through all of the iterations. So when Sims 4 came out, I pretty much started playing it immediately.
Mhm.
Um, which I don't now looking back, I have no clue how I managed that. Um, yeah. I'm a college student and I work full time, so sometimes running like this month I haven't really posted, and
Mhm.
I love that nobody's really said anything. Like my Sims are, because I'm part of the royal community, they're at other people's events. They're still being seen, just not on my page.
I love that, and we'll definitely get into the royal aspect a little bit later. And a special podcast that will be coming out next week is a Sims royalty roundtable with my co-host, yours truly over here, Miss Gabby, will be joining me. So please stay tuned for that. I'm so excited to film that this week and kind of
All of the royalty simmers have been talking about it. We're all excited. Like we
yeah.
keep asking each other, "Are you gonna be there? Are you gonna be there?"
Well, I was just asking people because I was like, I wanted this to be the biggest roundtable I've had. So the most people I've had is 9 people, and I wanted to go past that because I think Sims Royal Storytellers need a fucking spotlight because it was our Simstagram podcast that you educated all of us builders and all of us casts of like what it's like to
It's
be.
crazy.
It's fucking crazy. It's
And then
a
an
lot of
event I
work.
was just in, I'm in currently. She was sending pictures of like her building the palace and stuff that she's taking pictures in front of. And then we're all in the group chat like, yeah, I could never. And she's like, it's just a shell. And we're like, that's not the point.
Right? Well, it's like Juby Sims. She builds castles all the fucking time. And again, love her podcast friend, love her
Love
dearly,
her.
love her Canadian friend, podcast friend. But I'm like, she's like, oh, it's so easy. Like it's like a 3-4 hours, and I'll have a build. I'm like, in 3 hours, I might, might place my first door. Like that's where I'm at. Now going back to building, I joked all like first half of the season that like I don't build anymore. No one takes me serious as a builder. So everyone's like, "Yo, I'll hold my beer. I'll invite you to every building club." So I was in 5 builder clubs, and everyone's just like, "Holy shit, you can build!" I was like, I was always builder, and just seeing like again like Juby, she's like, "Yeah, a couple hours, it's fine," and I'm like, again, like
I
one
could
window.
never imagine building what she builds in a couple of hours. I'm renovating a palace. It's the summer palace from Alice. I always remember her like her name, and I can't remember her account name right now. Um, and I'm just renovating, and I've already like because I've been doing it on stream just because I'm doing it anyway.
Hmm.
I figured it would be a good opportunity to stream, and the streams have already been like 4 hours, and I've done like one floor. Like I fixed the basement for the CC I didn't have, and to make it a little bit less game breaky to have less rooms. I did one floor in like
Yeah,
4 hours.
fucking right. Nope, full castle, just full landscape, full everything. Again, we love you, Juby. We love you, Juby. We don't have your
No,
secret.
for real.
Yeah, we don't have your superpower, but we love you. But anyways, Gabby, let's before we get into storytelling, have you played the new expansion pack? Did you like it? If you've played it.
I did not buy it. I
Oh,
wanted to buy
okay.
it so bad because it was my birthday this month, and I'm like, spoil yourself. And I'm like, I can't even play infants. Every time I try to take care of an infant, I get the glitch where they're stuck to the Sim's foot, as well as my Sims will not sit down with them. So like they're sitting, but like the actual what they actually look like is like they're like half sitting. They started to sit, but they're stuck in that position just holding the infant. So I didn't buy the pack 'cause I'm like, I can't play with them base game. And there's no point in buying a pack where I still won't be able to play with them. But yeah, I did want to buy Growing Together, but I'm not doing that at least until the my base game works.
Yeah, holy shit. I had no idea. Honestly, if I had an option to throw infants out the window and never play with them, I would. I cannot stand that level of gameplay. Love my gameplay players, but it's not for me.
And I do. I was so excited, which makes it even more heartbreaking that my game is broken because I was going to start a 100 baby challenge and now I can't.
And like God knows when EA is actually going to fix something. Like seriously, like again, I'm so sorry that that's happened to you. Fingers crossed instead of
Somebody said it might be a specific piece of CC I have, and I'm going to try removing it, but I haven't played The Sims in a couple of days, so I haven't even been worried about going through and mod testing right now.
but hopefully that is the fix. For anyone curious, what is the piece of CC? Just in case someone else is having the
Um,
same problem.
they said it might be the Panda Sim toddler toys.
Oh, okay.
I thought I had updated that recently, but I might not have. Who knows? My mods folder is like 3,000 pieces or so. I mean, not pieces. I was gonna say gigabytes. It's not actually, but it feels that way sometimes.
Oh, I
I think it's
could.
actually like 84 gigabytes.
Yeah. Every time my computer turns on, it's like, please delete this folder of my mods because it is so. I think it's up to for me like 60 gig of just like mods because like okay, which we'll get it. Like, let's get into this now. Like as a storyteller, you
Hmm.
have to have CC and mods to tell the story
Hmm.
that you want in The Sims. I think that's really great for CC creators that were able to do that. I think that's really sad for EA that we can't even have like a fucking pose, like anything poses in the game. Like that is amazing pose creators out there doing that's like that for us. Could you tell your story without mods or CC?
No,
No.
I couldn't even pose a sim without a mod.
Right? And poses,
I
honest to God, make or break a story, in my opinion.
Yeah, but especially, and it's crazy because I use Wicked Whims to pose a lot, which is so funny
Mhm.
that I'm so glad somebody told me that. And then I felt bad because when they updated what they said how old the teens were, they
Mhm.
removed the teen module from that. And I felt so gross because I had to download the mod that overrides that just so I could move my teen sims around. But it made me feel so uncomfortable. Like I understand I'm not using it in that manner, but
Yeah.
like just the fact that I had to made me like feel like I was doing something icky.
I got you. That's why I don't use Wicked Whims, which was really interesting because I had to start downloading some sex poses. Anybody who needs sex poses, don't Google sex poses because you get some weird shit.
Oh no.
Oh
You have
yeah.
to go to the Wicked. I don't use risque poses very often, but I was told that if you ever need to go to the Wicked Winds page and download the recommended ones from there because
Yes.
those are the best options. They work with the mod the best. And then very unlikely to be like spam or buggy or anything.
Right? Like it was just like, oh
But
no.
it does, I don't use Wicked Whims for Wicked Whims. It's just so funny. I use Wicked Whims so I can pose adult and teen Sims and move them around if the shot doesn't look like what I want it to look like. So I don't have
Mhm.
to go back into get a pose teleporter and then put it at an exact angle and
Mhm.
move them. So that's so much easier. I only have to do that if I'm um playing with kids or toddlers.
Oh, okay. That's interesting because yeah, she's a simmer. Also said the same thing to me because that's now what she does when it comes to Wicked Whims. It's so much easier for posing because in like it goes more smoothly. Because with teleport,
Hmm.
like unless it's an animation, um, it goes really choppy. And if it's two sets of animation going at once, you best pray that they start at the same time. Because if not, it's like one's there and the next one's like this, and then it goes like that. It's so awkward, but I mean that is a good way to use it. I just don't like Wicked Whims because like there's parts of it that I feel like shouldn't be in the game. It
Existing.
existing, I think it's a little too dark, and that's a fucking lot to come out of my mouth that something is too fucking risque. I don't know. I understand they're like, well, it's for storytellers. That's great. But a lot of storytellers don't use it because it's gross and icky, and that's not the type of story. So I kind of wish they would just remove the icky parts. How about you?
Um, I'm all for freedom of creativity. I'm more of I'm not gonna use it
Yeah.
and move on. It does make me a little uncomfortable. Um, but I'm more of the type of person I'm like I'm in the era where if it doesn't affect me, I kind of forget it exists
That's fair.
until I go in my settings and have to fix something. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the thing. But also I recognize that a lot of people use The Sims as therapy.
Hmm.
Um, and a lot of people's story are very different. Their life story is very different. So if it helps them through that, I guess. But yeah, I just kind of try to ignore it, low-key.
Hey, that's the best answer. No, hey, applaud. A round of applause, my friend. Because again, you're right. You're 100% right. It can come down to what the storyteller wants to convey and the method they need to do it. I'm still like, we might get a kiss. That's where I'm at. We might get a kiss in there, and we might see a side boob. That's that's as risque as
I think I've only done one risque post, and that was when I was like revealing that the prince consort of Baden was cheating on his wife. And it's like it's him like sleeping with his mistress. But like it's one of those where like it's fades to black because they're in undies and
Yep.
then the post ends. And I'm like, yeah, that's all I got for you, babe.
Yep, exactly. I think less is more as well when it comes to that because it kind of leads your eyes to the imagination. Like think about like any sex scene in Hollywood. Like that is what you see. You got like the hand on the blanket or the hand on the wall. It's always raining. No matter what sexy, it's
Or in a
always
shower, which
shower
who is
wet.
doing that logically? Because the fear of being dropped is terrifying.
Yeah, and you gotta be the right height too, because God forbid if one's too tall, one's too short in the shower,
Oh, I
someone's
never even
dying.
thought, yeah, there's so many things I'm just
Yeah,
like, that logically, I could
no.
never.
Nope. That's nah, nah, nah. No sour shucks. Mm-mm. This no, it's you're gonna break your neck. Like it's not
No,
sex,
I fall just existing.
right?
There's no way I could, no,
No.
just no.
Could you imagine if that was a Sims death though? Like if it was like having sex and you just die. I would download Wicked Whims if that was a death. The
Oh my
mod
God.
creator listening to me, please make that a death because I swear to God, anytime even I slip on my existence, just
I
getting in the
mean,
shower, I
I guess
slide.
that's a good way to go. I mean, depending on what point you made it to, I don't.
Yeah, you just mid orgasm slip and die. I
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny.
yeah. Well, moving on. Anyways, great idea for poses. Again, like I kind of wish EA didn't just listen to builders and didn't just listen to cast, but listen to storytellers and kind of listen to what we well, we don't have a lot of demands. We just kind of want the game to work. And we just want to be able
Did you
to.
not know that was a lot?
I know. We're putting a little too much on them after spending like $1,000 on this game that we're kind of just asking
Oh, you
for
only
it to
spent a
work.
thousand?
No, girl, I spent like way less. Have you heard the story how like I have like all the packs?
Um, I'm not sure. I think I
Okay.
have a piece of it. Like I remember you saying at one point you were talking about buying kits at a party.
Oh, that is so true. That was last year's Christmas. I got blackout wasted and was like, I'm gonna make it. Like I'm gonna prove Daddy EA wrong that like he just won. He got my money.
I was
Um,
gonna say they don't care.
yeah, they don't care. No, so at the beginning, me and my best friend, Sierra, who we did a podcast together, we did one, it was like last season. It was like it's literally called like the honeymooners. We did the honeymoon test or like that. Yeah, it was an old show back in the day. And
No,
we thought,
I was
yeah,
little, but I've seen it.
yeah, right. We thought it would be fun. And so it was her. We went 50-50. So we would share my origins and we would buy them on sale, like the packs when it was $25, but we'd only spend $12.50 each. And we just wrapped up everything because we were obsessed with Kelchi and Peachy K's 100 Baby Challenge. Like we were fucking obsessed.
Oh, I was so sad when that ended and she announced she was leaving BuzzFeed. And I still
Yeah.
like her, and it's not her. I think it's I grew up. And so now when I'm watching her content, it's more like background noise. Like I still watch her, but like I was watching her Not So Berry Gen, and it's crazy because now she has so much more freedom. But now I'm like, I don't really want to watch anything anymore. Anytime I'm watching any Sims video, it's like white noise. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
I
It's
I could not agree more. I was so disappointed. I understand why she left. I mean, she wanted to have that freedom. Like she wasn't making extra money. Like she
no.
literally brought
And then
a
she had ended up filming in her house anyway.
yeah, exactly, right? So it was just I agree. And then I started watching her new stuff. I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this. I don't give a shit. She did boring challenges. I'm sorry, there's
Yeah,
so
she
many,
is doing all the ones everybody's done.
right? Like I understand the 100 Baby was different, but I think she made it special. Like she was a very good start, but like doing the not so very rags to riches. I'm sorry, yawn. Everybody does this. I
Yeah.
wanted to see something, and she
Yeah,
did
because
like,
she has an amazing production value, and I'm just sitting there like, I'm
yeah,
not interested in this really.
right. Like I loved her, and I mean, I hope to one day interview her, but I'm kind of getting concerned that she might be overrated now, just a little bit.
And I think she might be burned out, but now it's like her job.
Yeah.
There are days where it seems like when I'm watching a video and I'm like, I'm not sure you really wanted to film today, love,
Hmm.
but you probably felt like you had to.
Got to make that money, right? I mean, unfortunately, that's the because everyone's dream is to be a YouTuber. A lot of us are. I mean, that's
No,
kind of
no.
why we do this. Well, exception to the rule, but a good chunk of like I would even say me for a good chunk of this would love to turn this into something, even if it's not a Sims podcast. Just this opens the door to an opportunity that I may be able, do something else one day besides currently what I'm doing for my living. But you have to go out there on a good day, a bad day, you have to film content. And it's exhausting to always be fucking on and to never not be on. So I totally I think she's burnt out. She's tired. Like the thing is, it's like I know she plays other games, but no one gives a shit. We are there to
It doesn't
watch
even,
her
and
sim
my thing is,
content.
I would watch her play other games. It
Mhm.
does not come on my feed.
Yeah.
It's not what's pushed. So like if they would push some of her doing because when she was playing that game with I think it was either Gluon or James where they were playing that game where they were a pair and they
Yeah.
were running around. I was watching that and it just ended and like I don't know why it ended. Like they never finished the game. And I was enjoying that.
Right? Like I would enjoy more of that. Like I would enjoy more content and kind of see what else she can bring to the table besides doing a rags to riches.
I would love to see her create her own challenge. I think
Yeah,
that would be fun.
exactly. I hope I doubt she'll ever listen to this, but if you do, Kelsey, we love you. And
Me too.
we just want you to have fun. We want you to go back to enjoying doing this, because if you're not enjoying it, we can see it, and then we're not enjoying you watching it, and then it's just a double-ended sword at that point, and then we kind of move on. I think that's kind of, unfortunately, we're in that society of, well, we don't really, you're not doing it for us anymore, so we'll move on to the next creator that is doing it and that is happy to be doing this and is pushing boundaries and creating new challenges. The Awful Gamer podcast friend, he created the Midnight Challenges, which is from the album, Taylor Swift's album Midnight. He did a 12 legacy generation challenge based on every song on that album. That is fucking creative, and that's
I was gonna say
amazing.
that sounds so cool.
It's so cool. Like we our podcast will be coming out. It's already come out. Not while we're filming this, it's still waiting to come out, but as this podcast,
Mhm.
please go check out that challenge because it's so cool. It's so original. That's what I want from Kelsey. I want something original.
I
Even,
want to see her having genuine fun, not just
yeah,
doing a job.
exactly. Because
Because
we
her
all,
streams are interesting where she's interacting with people. You can tell she likes interacting with her fans.
yeah,
But I'm not watching that. I can't do long form content like that if I'm not like in the stream.
yeah, exactly. Well, Kelsey and Peach K, we love you. Please, please make content that
We
that
just
you
went on
love.
like a 10-minute love letter.
Yes, exactly. Also, please come on here. I love you. I would shit my pants if she ever like if anyone like actually was like really big. Though I think they'd be disappointed, actually, if they were like, this is like, you're not that cool,
I
Stassi.
think there's a couple that would just love the idea. Like I think Bella would come on and
Oh,
just have
yes.
fun.
I think we'd have good banter. Because people ask me all the time. They're like, who do you want to interview? And I was like, obviously Kelsey Peach K, my number one. Honestly, I I just want to interview everybody. I don't have like a favorite. I don't know. If you could interview a summer, if I eventually, because I do plan to take your idea when I take a mat leave eventually to do guest
Take
filling in my
over.
guest is taking over my. I've put a lot of thought into that because I want to continue doing this because you told me I can never end. So that's a lot.
No, you can't.
That's a lot of pressure. I'm going to live for another probably about 70 years. So it's a 70 more years of
You're
podcast,
gonna be
kids.
senile and still doing it. I don't care. And then
I'll be,
and then when you eventually 80 years from now
oh, okay.
die, your kids have to take over. It can never
Oh,
end.
it's
What
just
is it? This is the song that
that
never
never ends.
ends.
This
This is a
podcast will
podcast never
never
ends.
end. um, if I let you sit in my seat and you got to be, if you got to host an interview, who would you interview and why?
Oh, definitely Pamela. I love her. Um, I I love the fact that she's really very open about her mental health and how she's feeling. Even when she's filming, she's like, I wasn't really planning on filming today, but I had to put this out, and you guys are awesome, so I wanted to do this and that, and I'm not really in the mental health space, so there's no camera, and I'm like, babe, you're fine. She's always
Yeah.
talking about being on the spectrum, always talking about being ace, and like not really understanding like what people see in certain townies where they're like, this sim could get, and she's like, maybe it's just me, but no. And I'm like, no, that's valid.
Yeah. No, it's 100% fun. I think that is a good choice. I think you guys would like super hit it off.
Oh, her and my ADHD, we would never be on topic, but it would be interesting.
It'd be like a 16-hour podcast.
I'm down for that. I don't care if I would call off work.
Well, I mean, hey, potentially season 4 or 5, it's going to be guest hosted, everyone. So again, anyone who wants to guest host in like 2 years from now, hit me up. Actually, even I was even thinking about doing a little bit of next season too. Just because
I'm down.
I I have a lot of people wanting to do different types of podcasts now, and I'm willing to really do anything as long as I think it would be good for the listeners and very good for the platform. But yeah, you're definitely on my list for co-hosting after giving me the idea. I just like love when people throw me ideas. But anyways,
No, have you ever had anybody like just interview you the way you
yes,
interview us?
I
Okay, I
have.
gotta find that podcast.
So I was on Under the Plum Bomb. So I got
Nope,
interviewed.
I meant on
Oh,
yours.
on mine. I got
Yes,
interviewed for
where it's
Rose
all about
Chronicle.
you.
Oh,
Okay.
I got interviewed twice for Rose Chronicles. I do one every year. I'll be doing another one this year because cool things are happening, and it's my show and I want to talk about it. I'm
As you
biased.
should.
And then I did when I got to 3,000 followers on Instagram, I did a Q&A, and my fiance asked me the questions.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
adorable.
so that was my Christmas present to my fans last year, which is so weird to say those words outside. Like I don't know, it's
Aw.
weird, but yeah, it was cool. I love to be interviewed. I'm also the most nervous person to be interviewed.
Same.
I sweat, I forget my answers. It's more fun to be on this side because you
I'm
guys
over
have
here. I had this in my hand a second ago.
yeah.
I was over here playing with this because I had to fidget
Yes.
while we were talking, but then I got a little more comfortable, so I put it down.
That's okay. I have you'll see in the season I have a black ball in my hand when I get a little nervous because I'm just, trying to wrangle up an interview. Anyway, speaking of wrangling up an interview, let's continue this interview. Let's talk about some Sims. So obviously we know that the Sims team gave up on stuff kits. So they're giving us 4 kits and a hot update. And the only thing I can think of when I hear a hot update is Paris Hilton saying that's hot. Like that's the only thing I think of. So what the
I'm a
fuck's a
little too
hot
young for
update?
that one.
Yeah, you dodged a bullet. That was like my shit of being like Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie and this. I think it was like called The Simple Life or something
Isn't
like
that
that.
how Kim Kardashian got famous? Like hanging out with Paris Hilton?
Yeah, she was her personal stylist or slash
She was
assistant.
not good at her job.
She was definitely not good at it. But like back then, like I know you're like you're cute and you're like 22 and I love that for you. But like Juicy Couture track suits, Uggs, the big bougie gross Louis Vuitton bags, like that was the it shit. Like I had a Juicy Couture tracksuit in like every fucking color. Like I loved and my Uggs, and the poof, and like you just like what the poof is, right? You don't know what the bubble? Okay. Okay, I can't do this because I have headphones on. But what you would do, so take this piece, you would go like this with your hair, and you would make like
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So that was called the poof or the bubble, which apparently, as I saw on God forbid Reels, because I couldn't sleep the other night, that's coming back. And I was like, and the Gen Xers or Gen Zers, whatever. The Lord, you got your
Z?
generation. Yeah, Gen Z.
I'm Gen Z.
Yeah, Gen
And
Z
then
is like,
younger than me is Alpha.
yeah, that's also my niece is Alpha. And I was like, fuck is that? That's so
Yeah, they just started over at the beginning of the alphabet again, is what that is.
pretty much. So I wonder, so is it going to be Generation Beta? Is that going to be B?
I guess, yeah.
I guess so.
Until they earn a name. Because Z is Zoomers, which I don't appreciate, but okay.
Yeah, I don't appreciate that. That's weird. That's
It's
like
weird.
it's like boom like okay, because they just got rid of like the baby boomers, just call them boomers now, which
Well, they say because we move so quickly and we like move on from one thing to the next, we're zooming from one thing to the next on social
oh,
media and stuff.
interesting. That's
But nobody wants to be called a Zoomer, so
I hope
no.
you I don't know. I was gonna message you every day now being like, you're a Zoomer. Anyways,
I'm
so
gonna start ignoring you.
that's fair. That is fair if I call you a Zoomer every day. So anyways, a hot update, which I fucking no idea what that means. Don't even care. 4 kits, don't care. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm not even gonna ask you what you want because nobody gives a fuck. Like literally no one gave a fuck. Like everyone just is like, oh cool, whatever.
My whole Twitter is like, so we're not acknowledging that you said stuff packs weren't gonna die and then they died.
right?
That's my entire Sims Twitter right now, which
I
I try to stay off of.
yeah, stay off Sims Twitter, everyone. I will like I'm on there to post my shit and fucking leave. It's so toxic. Don't be part of it. No, thank you. But we're not even gonna dive into 4Kids because no one gives a fuck. And by the time this comes out, they'll already be out and they'll be disappointing. And then they'll be like, this podcast is like 6 months old. And you'd be like, you fucking know it. So, anyways, what I want to ask you is what would make the best royal expansion pack?
Oh, oh,
Yeah.
uh, ball gowns that don't
Yes.
clip and break. So we have really amazing CC. Never knocking it. It's so beautiful. But the one issue I have is that when you're posing, it can go through the tables or through another sim or like through anything. I want something that works with the game mechanics where like it smushes down when
Yeah.
they're sitting.
Yes.
Or it's meant to be there, so it just works really well. It flows when they're moving versus like the stiff like Barbie like I don't know if you've ever seen like when Mirror Race videos when they're in those really big dresses
Mm-hmm.
and they're walking and it just the skirt just does this because it doesn't have like the flow mechanics some of the clothes in the game do.
Yes. Because it's CC, right? It's kind of meant
Yeah.
designed to
So it's
look
like a
pretty.
picture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's nothing as good as when they're walking and they're just they're like
Yeah, and
side
they look
walking.
like oh, what was those toys where like it was like kind of a piece of paper, like a piece of plastic, and you just like stuck their clothes on.
Oh
That's
my
what
God.
that always reminds me of, like when you would walk with them, on whatever you were playing with. That's what it always reminds me of.
I think that's the best visual representation I've ever heard for anything like that. Thank you. Thank you for coming to an understanding. Like, oh my God. That's so fucking true though. Like I just did like, I don't know, like some party thing and I had a dress on and it just didn't flow. It looks weird because it was alpha CC. So it had the weird fucking shadow gashes because that's how
Oh
movement works.
yeah.
And because I thought I was like, whatever, like no one's going to notice because being a Instagram storyteller, we show you what you want to see and we cut out what you don't want to see. So I had to like trim from like up from like I would say like her belly button up. I couldn't show the dress fully down. And if I did, I had to like edit the shit out of it because it was so shadowed. It was just like these giant black bits. But I definitely like ball gowns. Ball gowns out. I will say the dresses
In
that came,
Indian and Asian CC, I mean Indian Asian clothing
yes.
that like older for like historical players,
Mhm.
that stuff is I love the CC for that, but a lot of that you have to like pay for or I can't even find because the websites are in another language I can't read.
Yeah.
Um Stuff like that. Because I just want that in general.
Mhm.
Just Indian and Asian and um clothing. Because that's the one kit I bought was like the kit with the Indian themed clothing.
Yeah. Oh, was it the what is it? Was it
It's
the
like the
the
Fits or something like that. They
yeah,
have
or
dumb names.
they do have dumb names. Great. Some of the clothes in there is phenomenal. It's really well designed. Dumb names. Just but you know what I want from all the kits as I'm gonna bash on kits for a second to unbash on them. Don't give me a kit. Give me a fucking expansion pack and expand on all those kits because I would love that. I want to see other ethnicities getting the representation. I am tired of seeing Western cultures getting the only representation. Fucking EA do better, which we will talk about on both podcasts this weekend, I feel like. Is there anything else like what type of world would you want in your expansion pack?
Um, hmm. I like the desert worlds or like the forest worlds, but they never do them well enough for me.
Yeah.
Like I like the color palette of Oasis Springs,
Yes.
but then you manage to negate that by like nothing feeling deserty.
Yeah.
So I just want them to whatever they do, whatever they would theoretically and hypothetically do, um, go all the way with it. Commit.
Yes,
Commit to the bit.
exactly. Don't fucking EA it. Don't go like 80% in, pat themselves in the back that they fucking did it, and then leave us wanting more and not actually completing anything. Because like what irks me the most is they were saying that we're supposed to have 2 new worlds last year. That was the big thing at the summit, the original summit
They
back in
look like every
October,
other world.
right? Like I was so disappointed with Growing Together. Like I didn't realize how fucking small the world was.
Oh, when I watched the live stream, I went, oh, yeah, I couldn't build any story lots on there. That wouldn't
No,
help me.
no, it didn't do anything. I literally bought it because I wanted to spend my old boss's money on my video game habit because it's his money. And two, I bought it for the build buy because it's phenomenal build buy, especially when it comes to some clutter stuff that I
I
feel
want
is
the baby stuff so bad.
I know. And we will get, and hopefully by the time this comes out, which I hope so because this is coming out in August, it will be fixed because if it's not fixed by August, we are in
I'm
much
gonna
more.
cry.
100%. 100%. I
I
would
want
cry
to play
for
with
you.
infants so bad.
Hopefully, the trick with removing that mod or updating that mod will make a difference. Now, is there anything else you want to add before we actually switch this over from a simmer spotlight to a story spotlight? Because that was my plan.
Not particularly.
Perfect. Okay, I will have to grab my phone because I know this is sad. I do story spotlights every weekend.
No,
And
you're fine.
I don't actually remember the questions I ask. Again, no
You have a
judgment.
whole life outside of this. The way like you managed to do any of this, I could never.
It's because I don't sleep and I have like zero social life that does not involve The
No,
Sims.
because like I was reading off my notes for the D&D group we met to talk about expectations.
Yeah,
And they're like, you're so prepared. And I'm like, I have to be. I'm never gonna remember these questions later.
right? Fucking right. You gotta write this shit down, especially when I'm scatterbrained. But anyways, let's switch this to a story spotlight, which I love doing for verbal story spotlights. If anybody wants to do a verbal story spotlight in season 3, please let me know because these interviews are going so much better than I would have ever expected. The written ones, people are loving them. So, anyways,
They're very interesting.
they are very interesting. It's a quick little,
Couple
learn a
questions.
little about the story and stuff and just kind of get like, oh, like that's so cool because I feel like the storyteller community is very close knit. It's very close, and especially the royal storytelling community. So it's cool to see other storytellers that maybe don't get the time in the sun getting to share their experience and their story. But anyways, Gabby, first question. Tell us a little bit about your story.
So I, as of filming this, have 8 kingdoms. I have a little side one for Tartosa, but that's a whole plot point I'm not gonna get into right now. Um, my main one that I was focusing on for a while was the Kingdom of Baden,
Mhm. Of
which is a female-led kingdom because of course it is.
course it is.
They have a queen with a prince consort. They've never had a king.
Mhm.
They never will. I also have I have the Kingdom of Oasis, I have the Kingdom of Willow, I have the Kingdom of Evergreen. Um, oh, there's so many of them. And then some of them just have random names. I was just doing stuff because I realized everybody named it this the Kingdom of the World. And I'm like, when you're doing royalty collabs and everybody's kingdom has the same name, I didn't like it. So I'm slowly renaming everybody. And so my Kingdom of Sulani, their name will be changing soon. Um,
What is it going to be changing to?
I think I decided it's just like mermaid in Hawaiian. It's gonna be like their kingdom name. I haven't
Okay.
completely committed to it yet, which is why I haven't done the post yet. But I'm thinking that would be just a funny, like on the nose thing to do,
Yeah.
and people who speak the language might think it's funny.
Yeah. I think again, very creative. Because it's something I did notice with storytellers. Like there's like the Kingdom of Willow Creek. I see that one
Mhm.
quite frequently. The Kingdom of Newcrest, which I love, but I love having it as like whatever you want to name it. Because then you're able to describe it better. Because anytime I hear Kingdom of Newcrest or Kingdom of Willow Creek, I literally just picture those two towns, and then I have a hard time visualizing what it would be like because I just imagine empty lots, and I don't even know what's in Willow Creek. I never go into that world unless I only ever use Newcrest and Windenburg. Those are the only two worlds I use. But anyways,
Yeah. What's
uh
funny about that is my kingdom of Evergreen, they live in oh, what's the like that was supposed to be like the British world? Um
Hanford and something,
no 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 no.
the one that came a
Ah
cottage living.
no.
Oh wait, what?
The one with like the DJ sisters.
Yeah, Windenburg.
Yes, they live in Windenburg.
Fuck yeah. I
So the name
fucking
of the kingdom is Evergreen, but they live in Windenburg.
yeah. Fuck.
But Evergreen is, Harbor is a part of their kingdom.
See, that's cute. That's cute. Put a little Easter egg in. But again, I I like Windenburg because there's so many big lots. That's literally why it sold me. It was like the two 64 by 64 lots that are there.
Yes.
Fucking I need more 64 by 60. I want a world with just 64 by 64 lots. That would make my life so
Yeah.
much easier. Would it not make your life easier when it comes to storytelling?
Especially because I have to make rooms a little bit bigger than makes sense to get the camera in and at good angles. So I'm always expanding rooms and they look weird
Mm-hmm.
in game, but like they look fine in the pictures because I had to expand like this one piece of the wall to get the camera in and get this angle.
Yeah. Because you got to expand it so like you can get like this side. Because if it's actually this big, you can't actually get the camera through because it would just go
It
through
just
the
goes through the
head,
wall.
goes through the wall, or if you pose someone or do anything too close to the end of the wall, you actually don't see them.
Hmm
Rookie mistake, kids. Give it like an extra inch and notice it.
And
Or
the ceiling will appear.
and then the ceiling will appear. Also, that royal expansion pack, fucking royal ceiling. Anything better than the gray ceiling that's above.
Jesus.
Like fucking
That's why I love
anything.
the palaces people build, because there is no ceiling for a lot of for a lot of like the grand rooms. It's like 2 floors up.
Hmm.
So then it just looks so much more open and beautiful.
Exactly. I love that, especially when it's open. Like you look up and it's again not just gray, dead, sad ceilings. Or the CC that you can do to get the ceilings not being so ceiling. Or you can use a tool and take objects and place them on top of the ceiling, which can break your game because it's objects are not meant to be like
Yeah,
that.
be up there.
Exactly. No, that's cool. What is your favorite kingdom and
Oh,
why?
Baden.
Yeah. I figured you were gonna say Baden, so I'm gonna say another one that's not Baden.
Um, Oasis.
Oasis. Why Oasis?
Um, so I love Baden because it's female led, but I love Oasis because it's female led, but the world is male dominated, like typically, but
Mm-hmm.
they went to war. Like this, every kingdom has its own backstory.
Yes.
Um, they went to war. She was already or the Sultana was already an orphan that had been taken in by the royal family. She was betrothed to the crown prince. And so when fighting broke out among the nobles for a coup, she learned to fight and took back her kingdom. But it's kind of crazy because she's not changing any of the laws, other than to like help her people recover from the war. Um, she's keeping the system, which is interesting for me because I always want to be like an over feminist Gen Z and be like, no, we're changing everything. But she's like, no, I don't necessarily like her son will still rule over her daughter. Um like she's very much like in my head at least.
Mm-hmm.
History over anything. She's ruling because she had to, not because like she wanted to change anything. And it's a very interesting not dichotomy because it's not the word I'm using, but it's what popped into my head. But it's very interesting, like what I would actually do in actively playing a character
Mm-hmm.
that is like, no, this is my culture and I'm sticking to it. Um, and I'm going to thrive within that and push to make things better, but that doesn't mean they have to like foundationally change,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, that absolutely fucking makes sense. And I love that. And I think that's a really good explanation of how you tell your story, like, and how you build a kingdom. And actually leads me to my next question. You have 8 kingdoms. How do you as not a royal storyteller, how do you invent
Mhm.
a kingdom? And what are the stepping stones from coming up with a name to like how they run their laws and everything?
So for me, a lot of it was looking at some of the other like base points a lot of other kingdoms had. So when I decided to just go for it,
Mm-hmm.
I had like little backstories in my head. I was kind of started playing. When I decided to go for it, I wrote them down in a notes app. And you can see this in the very, very beginning of my page. Those pictures are a screenshot of the notes app on my phone of their backstories. Um, because I just was like, what has happened so far in the
Mm-hmm.
game for real, in the way I've played for years, and what is the over dramatic version in my head. So like the kingdom of Crest, the Empire of Crest. They're an Asian kingdom, and they had a lot of children. She was like the ninth or tenth or something like that of the children, so she never expected to rule it all. She married some celebrity, moved on with her life,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of her family died, like one by one by one, slowly pushing her up further and further and further in the line of succession
Mm-hmm.
until she ended up empress, taking care of her little sister.
Interesting.
And in my game, her parents just died. It was kind of crazy. Like there was, I don't know what happened. I walked away for 2 seconds, accidentally left the game on pause, came back, they were dead. Um, and she realistically only had like two older brothers or something like that. Like she had all older brothers, like one older sister or something like that. Her two older brothers, like one died of heat, because I didn't realize that function was still on in my game.
Ah,
Um, and then the other one died by flies because he randomly decided to go dumpster diving. Don't know why. I rolled with it. Um, and then the sister, one of my mods got her killed. So I said that her husband's mistress killed her in the backstory. Um,
I like that, which actually leads me to a question I had. So, when it comes to storytelling, sometimes you let the game dictate the
mhm.
story. What if something happens in the game that you don't want to happen? Do you pretend it didn't exist, throw your laptop out the window, and go back to pressing play? Or do you just roll with the punches?
um, I kind of so far I've just been rolling with the punches.
Okay.
Like the Kingdom of Bay, they ended up my favorite because the game went off the rails when I wasn't playing that household. So the queen's husband had two mistresses and kids with them. Like that was a like the storytelling function was still in my game and it was on my played household and it wasn't supposed to be. And then free love was a thing on the neighborhood, and then my mods MCC Command Center was doing what it does.
Hmm.
And so I kind of went, well, I guess we're rolling with this. And then she ended up having kids and ended up pregnant while divorcing him because I was playing another household and the it popped up. We've been thinking about having another child. And I, before I was paying any attention, clicked go for it. And I'm like, oh, no, she's leaving him. But that hadn't came out yet. And so I rolled with it.
Yeah. Oh, but that's the fucking coolest part of being a fucking storyteller. Like rolling with the punches and letting the story tell you instead of you telling it, and being able to just say, okay, well, this happened. And then like the creativity just comes rushing in and you're like, yes, like we can do this, or we can add this storyline.
Would you like to know the original storyline for that house, what I had planned?
Fuck yeah, I want to hear it.
So the original storyline for that household was he was just gonna be useless. Like she runs the kingdom anyway. He showed up for events. He was just a background character. He was never supposed to be like the main story plot for that family. Her
Mhm.
son was gonna have issues with the fact that his younger sister was the crown princess and not him, even though he's the oldest, and she's born after him.
Mhm.
That was gonna be the storyline for that. And um he was gonna go run another kingdom or something like that. And then I kind of had to be like, oh, and I go back and forth on if I want to do that. But then I also go back and forth of, do I want to run nine kingdoms? Not particularly. Um, so then also his wife was like supposed to be like tricking him into like having their kid and then marrying into the royal family to like um have more power because her family politically they were the rulers of the witches
Mhm.
um before Oasis took over their kingdom 100 years ago. And I was gonna run with that. And I was like, there's too much going on. I can't run all of this. This is crazy.
That's fucking awesome though. Like holy shit. But okay, I think you kind of have to do Nine Kingdoms now. I'm just
No, I do think about like all of the other the wolves run themselves, the vampire run themselves. I do think about separating a and the witches run themselves.
Mhm.
Um, but like I don't wanna. I do because I think the story would be epic of like them fighting for their separation. Or
Fuck
even
yeah.
just I think about just them asking and the Sultana would probably allow it. Um, especially because her kingdom just went through a coup. She's not trying to have another war. Um, I think she would allow it, but I then would have to focus on that, and that would have to be a summer project.
Yeah. Or even if it was like a tiny like spin-off series, which actually leads me to, would you ever do like, I know you have eight kingdoms and you have multiple different storylines going on, but would you ever just say, I only want to focus on one storyline and I only want to develop one, like one family set of characters? Who would you develop and why? And what spinoff would you do?
Oh wow, there's so many Sims. Uh, you know what? It wouldn't be particularly a spin-off. It would be a backstory
Okay.
of how the Baroness of Hollow, how her mom ended up having an affair with a noble and having her, and then ended up asking the Queen of Hollow to take her in, and then how her mom died in a fire, and the Queen of Forgotten Hollow ended up taking care of her.
I hope I also have to create that spinoff. But that's fucking cool. I love that because I think giving showing a different side of a coin, showing a story, like part of the story that maybe you didn't really get a chance to show. I think that's a really inventive way to continue telling a story. We don't need to HBO this shit with Harry Potter. Okay? Like,
uh,
right?
J.K. Rowling does not need any more money.
No. But they also don't need to go back and fucking reboot the TV
I
show
need them to
movies into
stop
TV
doing live
shows.
actions of my childhood, and I need them to stop remaking things. And if you're gonna remake something, could we remake Vampire Academy, please and thank you, because I love that series. Reading it
The movie was
and going to middle
garbage.
school, and oh my God, it was so bad. And I went to the movies with my friends to see it. It was so
Oh.
bad. Like I've never been. We were making fun of it walking out the movie theater. It was so bad. It was so funny. And it was like, "Are you not entertained?" I'm like, "Baby, no, no, I'm not. I'm
Nope.
not entertained."
Absolutely. I want an HBO. I want everything HBO. I want an HBO 18A series of everything. Give me a Dr. Seuss 18A
Yes,
at
and
this point.
stop making movies out of books. Make series.
Yes. Because like then you can actually dove into it further, which actually leads me to my next question. If you were able to adapt this stories into a movie, TV show, or a play, what would you do? And where would you want it to be? And who would be the main like people you would cast?
Oh Jesus. As a theater kid, I want to say theater, but that's unrealistic. Especially with the massive size of my story. That just
Yes.
doesn't work. Definitely TV show.
Yeah.
Um,
Would it be live action or a cartoon?
oh, oh man. I
Yeah.
love cartoon. I love animation.
Yeah.
I just do. But I just think it would be ridiculously funny to see live action. Like that's
Yes.
just so awkward sometimes. But I think I would want to do animation so they look as much like The Sims that they are based on.
Okay.
Um, and I don't have to be like, that's not what they look like. But you did a really good job. Um,
Okay. Who would you cast? Who would be, give me your top cast.
oh wow. I don't know celebrity names. I just know faces. Um,
Lay it on me. I'm pretty good with celebrity
I would
names.
definitely, oh, the one I would have to say Cat Graham would have to be somebody.
Yeah, 100%.
Um, uh, because most of my kingdoms are people of color, it would have to definitely be a mostly
Hmm.
like people of color cast. Oh no. The cast of Crazy Rich Asians would definitely have to be the Empire of Crest.
Yes.
Um, except I don't necessarily need Kim Jong involved. I love him, but he's just a bit much and he plays the same character in everything. I
Yes.
also don't necessarily need Aquafina involved either.
Really?
I love her, but they're very serious in the Empire of Crest. Like they are
Mm,
ridiculously like strict. They're another kingdom who they value boys
yeah.
more than anything. Um, and again, while they're not cruel about it, because I don't like that aspect, it is very much a part of their culture where like the guys are in charge. And then that's why it's crazy that she is ruling her kingdom as well, and her husband's not, but he's not of royal bloodline anyway, because she was granted to marry just some celebrity. If he
Hmm.
had been a noble, he'd be emperor in charge over her, even though she's the princess.
Yeah.
She was the princess. Um, so I would need something a bit more serious for that. And those two just wouldn't work.
What if
I'll
they were like the side background, like chambermaids or and like kind of stuff like that? Kind of like because I feel like yes, it needs to be serious, but you always have to have like your community like your comic breaks. Like just someone
But if
doing
it's a
something
TV
funny.
show, I got that literally everywhere else. Like that in my head when I'm playing, like even when I'm just playing and I'm letting them roll, that family is weirdly like serious. Like they're like the teenage daughter, her sister, who she just grew up in my game, but she hasn't grown up in this on my Instagram yet.
Hmm.
She would come home and do her homework like autonomously. Um, I didn't even know that was an option. I don't think it is. I don't know why she was doing that. But she would come home and do her homework autonomously, just be reading a book instead of watching TV. There's only one TV in the house, but they all have access to it. She would be doing homework or painting or like working on skills. And I'm like, how? I didn't, this is weird, but okay. So
But
I would have to keep that vibe to feel real.
okay, I appreciate. I mean, they could play serious roles if they still wanted to. They could try. I would love to see.
Yeah,
I would like to see Aquafina to take something on a little bit more seriously because she always plays the comic relief, but I would love to see her to shine. But it's also your story, and I'm telling you what to do, and yeah, don't listen to me.
no, I know. I'm enjoying the conversation. Also, I wouldn't want to deal with the real life like behind the scenes background drama of like the blackfishing. I don't want to deal with that.
Mm-mm, that's
And
true.
I think she has aspects of it that might be valid, but for the most part, I think she's just being extra, and that is what it is. But a lot of drama comes with stuff like that, and I don't want to deal with that. I want to have something that's just fun and
Like,
stupid. But I'm actually okay.
okay.
I am actually developing some of the stories into short story format, like
Oh shit.
book
Okay.
format.
Like, how would you want to release that? Like, would you want to go through like Amazon because you can do like ebooks that way, or would you go on like
Yeah, that's
Wattpad?
probably how.
Yeah.
Not Wattpad. Wattpad, I have trauma from being a preteen, reading things I should not have been reading on Wattpad. Um, I I read a lot of things I should not have had access to at like 13 or 14. And
Okay.
then they wonder how I ended up pregnant at 17.
Wait, what?
Oh, okay. I need to stop just dropping that casually. I had a miscarriage at 17.
Girl, I had a miscarriage at 20. So, thank you for sharing.
Yeah, no,
Thank-
I freaked my friend out the other day because I made a joke about it, and my friend group snapped their heads, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I gotta stop doing that to y'all."
Yeah, I just didn't think I was not expecting that to be casually dropped.
Yeah, I cope with humor, so I realized that that startles people. I have to stop casually doing that.
Dude, that's okay. I'm honestly on the hunt to try to find an OBGYN to join a podcast with me so we can sit and talk about miscarriages and how actually common they are and how they happen quite
Yes, it
frequently,
was very traumatic to not know that.
right? Yeah, believe me. I'm well, it's something that haunts me. Still to this, I
Yeah,
finally made peace about a year ago. For the first, well, I've had two. So I had one when I was 20 and I had one when I was 24. Yes,
yeah.
24.
It was crazy because I was pregnant for my birthday, and then not very soon after. It was kind of crazy. But I was it was the summer before I was 16, I think, 16 or 17. It was the summer before my senior year.
Mhm.
And I was in this really cool internship, and I had to like just quit everything. And like I was depressed for a really long time. Um and so it's funny to be like older and to have really like where I'm very casual about it now.
Mhm.
And then I feel like I have peace with it, but also there's always days where you're like, yeah, I wouldn't have been a good mom because I was 17, but like, damn, that sucked.
Oh, girl, you're preaching to the choir. I was too young. It was a mistake. Um, I would have been
But don't you
trapped.
hate when people be like, it was meant to be? Don't say that to me, because now I want to hit you in the face.
Yeah, don't ever say that the worst day of my life was meant to be. Don't like that's so gross. It's so fucked up. Like it's ugh. But at the same time, I got a second chance on life and I fucking ran with it. And I've not stopped with my second chance. And I don't know if I would be in the places where I am if I was because like I was gonna be a single mom. The father wanted nothing to do with her. Um, I had an apartment lined up. I was in my second year of college. I worked overnights at McDonald's. I was ready to provide, and it just didn't happen. And I had to put the pieces of my life back together, and that was really hard. And then it
It's very
just
dramatic.
it's really traumatic. And then the second one, I had no idea. I was so much blood. It was just I was like
Yeah.
falling out of me. And then I went to emerge and they told me. And then I came home and I still remember to say I sat in the bathtub with the water rolling down as I cried my eyes out for 3.5 hours because I didn't know what else to do. And it wasn't until I met my fiance, Jason, that like he really like we've been really working together on, trying to like get me like ready to have a kid and like knowing the process of just being like I might have another miscarriage and just this the
Yes,
toll
the
that
idea
takes
that like
on
you don't
you.
trust your body anymore.
Yeah. Because like I was talking to his mom yesterday and he was like, oh, like aren't you scared of like bringing a child into this world? I'm like, I can't even be scared of that because I don't even know if the child's
I'm
going to
scared
be
to get to
born.
that point.
I mean, I can't like let me get to the point where the child's born and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Um,
and then one of my best friends' moms, when it happened, they like took me out to eat so I wouldn't be just like in the house. Like
Yeah.
right after I left the hospital, I was being told that was somewhat traumatic as well. But
Hmm.
they were trying. And she was like, she had seven. And I'm like, oh my God. And she has two kids.
Hmm.
But she's like, she had seven trying to get them all here. And I was like, this didn't help me. This just kind of made me trust my body less.
It
And yet, no, it should be talked about that it's common, but like it should also be talked about the way like you have a weird relationship with yourself after.
Yeah, you're mad at yourself, you're upset with yourself, and then you literally go through the stages of grief. And then especially when you start to get older, the first question you get asked, especially if you're planning a wedding, is, are you gonna have kids? And then the
Which I
answer,
hate.
it's such a weird question. And a lot of people, I'm actually a little bit more vocal about it and like talking about my experiences, because a lot of people be like, oh, like, like once you get pregnant, it's like the best feeling. And for many years, I just swallowed that sense of shame that I just couldn't have a
Yeah,
successful
the way people
pregnancy.
don't realize like that's not everybody's experience. Also, even people who want kids and are able to successfully carry have miserable pregnancies.
Yes.
Like my cousin, my cousin's wife or ex-wife now, but when she was pregnant with their son, she was so like small
Hmm.
that like she literally almost broke her back
Yep.
carrying their son. Like she had stress fractures on her spine from carrying her son.
See,
Like that's
this is
traumatic.
that's the shit we want to talk about, or talk about the postpartum that comes after, because people don't think you can get postpartum after having a miscarriage. No, no, you still fucking do.
Oh, and it's actually kind of, I wouldn't say it's worse because postpartum is terrible. But like it's not like you can be like, but you have this tiny human, because you don't.
Right? It depends how far along you were, from a miscarriage versus a child's death.
Hmm.
If you're lactating and and you hear a child cry and like you're going through, you will lactate, and then
Hmm.
and your body's confused because there's nothing. It's a really fucked up situation. And again, I really hope I can find an OBGYN and we can sit and we can talk about it, because that is free education for women out there that they do not teach us in
Oh, you should see if you
schools.
could get oh, what is that? The YouTube OBGYN. Oh, she's so adorable. What is it? Mama Dr. Jones. I love her.
Send
She's
me
very informative.
send me your stuff. Hopefully she'll want to be on my podcast, but send it to me after this, because I'm having a hard time trying to find somebody.
Yeah, and she's already a YouTube doctor.
Because I think it's really important. I've been trying to see an OBGYN for many years, and throughout COVID, they were not taking patients that weren't pregnant. That's really great. Someone who has ovarian
I
cysts,
couldn't even get birth control. Like I couldn't go to the doctor and get my
yeah,
prescription
that's fucked
because I
up.
get the shot. So
Oh
like I
shit.
couldn't
Okay.
get it. And
That's
then when I went back after COVID, they were like, "Well, why do you have back problems?" And I'm like, "Because I've had spine issues since the miscarriage." And they're like, "Those
mhm.
things shouldn't be connected. I'm not giving you this, um, just in case it's a problem." I'm like, "But what? That's not how that I've had it since. That doesn't make sense." So now I can't get birth control until I get an X-ray on my spine. But I can't find a regular doctor to get the X-ray on my spine.
What the fuck? Are you serious?
I can't get birth control for like the last year.
That's fucked up. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. That's fucked up.
it was kind of crazy.
Fuck American healthcare. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I agree.
Fuck American healthcare. Like, my fucking God.
And she
That's
was like, "What if they're connected?" I'm like,
can you just go
"What
to
if I still don't want a kid? Like, I don't.
yeah.
I
Can
need
you
the prescription to go pick it up. Like,
but
I have to go pick up the prescription from a pharmacist and bring it back to the doctor to get the shot. And they won't give me the prescription at the one I went to. And now it's on like my chart that I'm supposed to see
an
like my
X-ray.
regular doctor to get an X-ray to figure out what's happening, make sure they're not connected.
Yeah. But
And
you would have to pay to get an X-ray. That's even more fucked up.
oh yeah, and I have insurance through my university. So I don't have great insurance because to go to school I have to have insurance. And the window for the insurance for my school and the window for insurance in the state are separated. So I can't waive my insurance for the school without having insurance, but I can't get insurance until after school's already started and is running. And I can't afford both at the same time. So I'm stuck on my university's insurance.
You just need to come to Canada, love. Because
I
come join our citizenship. Come become a citizen. It's expensive as hell to live here, but
I mean, I live in Chicago, so I'm already there.
Oh yeah, you're basically there. Like I keep telling Kev, we are going to we're going to take Montreal. You got the U.S. is going to take Montreal or Quebec, and we're going to have Chicago, and it's going to be awesome. And then you can come here and get, well, once you become a Canadian citizen, get universal health care, and you could go get an X-ray. You just go to Emerge. You're going to wait a long time.
And they would probably just give me my damn birth control. Like,
yeah, they would.
They're unlikely to be connected.
They're 100% unlikely to be connected. Like, yeah, you could just go to a clinic and ask for birth control, and they give it to you without needing OBGYN.
Yeah, anywhere else I would have to go, I would have to get the pills, and I'm not gonna remember taking pills, and I'm not leaving that to chance. That's a crazy thing to leave to like, oh, I might forget to take that.
And also, doesn't always work. Just throwing that out
Yeah,
there.
no. Oh, just in general, none of them are 100%.
Yep.
But if you're gonna go for something and you know you're not good at taking pills, get the shot, babe. It's every 3 months.
Yep. Or don't get an IUD either. That fucks you up. My last
no, and
IUD.
they can get embedded in your uterus. This is not funny, but in morbid humor. I always think it's funny the one where like the baby was apparently born holding
the IUD.
The IUD. And I'm like, how is that even
possible?
Like, isn't that how did it move there?
Yeah, how to get like I've seen the photo, like we've all seen the real photos being like
of it, like
baby
prepping it.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, like either that's super fake, which is really fucked up that you put a baby holding an IUD into that, or that's real, and that's even more fucked up. Anyway, in that situation, it's fucked up.
Yeah, it's weird. And then the one in your arm can get stuck in people's arm, and then you have to get surgery to get it removed.
Mm-hmm. Why can't men take the birth control option?
Oh no, the side effects.
Oh my god, they might be
extreme.
moody. Oh my god, they might gain weight. Oh my god. My fiance
Their hair might fall out.
Oh my god, they might go bald. They were already going bald anyways, but
no, since they half of them. I mean, a lot of people look hotter bald anyway.
I agree. Besides my fiance, he needs hair. He needs all the hair.
Yeah, but my sister's fiance too. He needs hair.
Gabby, are you okay if we move on to the next topic?
Oh,
or do you want to continue?
I'm the one who casually dropped it. I'm good.
That's okay. Well, thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that moment with us.
No.
Again, it's bringing it real. It's literally talking about it, educating women, and being able to know that you are not alone. So thank you, Gabby. Now I got a couple more questions. We're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna go back to my handy dandy questions because God forbid if I actually remembered, that would be too sad. Okay, so anyways, we talked about developing your kingdom. How do you develop your characters?
A little bit in my head and still a little bit just their traits and what they do in the game. So I have a little bit of like what a real person experiences life like.
Yeah.
In my head and attaching that to The Sims. Also, I have a lot of mods, so I have more traits than in the game. So when they randomize traits, it's just like, well, what does this type of person? How does a perfectionist work? How does someone who's non-committal work? How does this and work in real life? And what would that look like?
Okay. I like that. So like talk me through a character. Let's pick your favorite character and how did you develop their character from the beginning to where they are today?
My favorite character at the moment is just because I think she's so fabulous is Maggie. The crown princess, Magdalena of Baden.
Yeah.
I love that her story long term is gonna be she's a little bit traumatized by her parents' situation, like them divorcing. The kids don't really know why yet, but they will. And so the fact that I don't even for her, it's so funny I just said that because for her, I don't pay attention to her traits. It's all about like her hanging with her friends and um the fact that she's in my head she's gonna have issues finding love because of she knows that being queen will come at a cost and it doesn't save you from heartache.
Hmm.
And then I then go backwards from this is what she's gonna be like as an adult to this is what she's like as a teen experiencing it right now and like how crazy it is that all of your friends' parents are in these like picture perfect relationships like what you thought your parents had.
Hmm.
And then you realize, oh, maybe everybody's lying, or maybe people just have it good and my family's unlucky and my life just sucks. Or like just the angst of a teen who is not only having to deal with being a teen with divorcing parents and now half siblings to being someone who's royal and having to still look and act perfect
Hmm.
at all times because you will one day be queen and to slip up would be bad.
I fucking love that answer. So, um, as Rose Chronicles is my story. There's three parts, and I'm really enjoying reading the third book because it's 100% a royal book. It's 100% royals. Everything about it is royals, and I'm enjoying writing it, developing characters of basically like, what if they do fuck up? How do you? How would you do that? What would be the repercussions? What was there any? What
Does it
if
get covered up?
does it get covered up? Like it's just kind of like that kind of fun stuff, and it's kind of like how you build your story. And talk about building your story. What character do you relate to the most, and why?
Um, it's so weird because they're all royals and nobles. I feel very distant a lot of the time.
Hmm.
They don't feel like real people because I feel like in real life royalty, they don't feel like real people.
Yeah, I think that's a really good
Um,
way to put it.
um, but I don't know. I think I will still say that I relate to Maggie the most, not for the parent relationship because my parents were never married.
Hmm.
And they really don't get along. Um, but because she has and this doesn't really come up in the story very often, other than the fact that she always wants to match her mom. But she has a really good relationship with her mom, and I love my mom. Like if around my house right now is a billion pictures of me and my mom, like throughout my life. On our stairs leading up to the second floor, there's like a wall of me like as a baby that I call like a little shrine. I'm like, you have a baby shrine of me, ma'am, and it's weird. And she's like, it's not a shrine, it's my child. And I'm like, oh, that didn't just sound overly dramatic.
I
And
fucking
then you heard before we started, we just bicker back and forth. Um so like I have a really good relationship with my mom in real life and they have a really good relationship again. So I will relate to that because not a lot of my characters and that I think holds true for royal thing. They are not close with their parents.
yeah, 100%. I mean, take the Disney law. Usually the parents are dead, and it's usually another caregiver taking care of the kids. I love that. That's so cute. Are you an only child, if you don't mind me asking?
So I am my mother's only child. My
Okay.
father I have multiple half siblings.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and then when I say my sister half the time, I'm talking about my best friend where her grandparents died when we were seniors.
Oh,
And they raised
wow.
her. And so when we were 19, I finally convinced her to come live with us because she was living in the house she grew up in. Um, and her family is not great. But
Yeah.
I finally convinced her to come live with us. And now my mom says we're both her daughters, and my family calls her my mom's daughter.
Oh,
Um, so
that
that's my sister.
that's so sweet. That's so sweet. Oh my God, I have a fucking cavity. That's so fucking sweet. Oh, no sound.
We've been best friends since we were in second grade.
Oh. So obviously when you get married, maid of honor, gonna cry the
Yeah.
whole time. everything is, yeah. Talk about the moment you met in grade. That's so fucking cute. That's so fucking cute. Honestly, though, like I think that's like the best way for like a surrogate sister. Like without a doubt, it doesn't like for best friends. Like if your best friend's also not your sister, it can't be confused for your sister or also your lover, then you're not best
Yeah,
friends.
no, because we'll be just in public holding hands, but that's mainly so we don't lose each other. But people are like, no, I love when people go, I'm because we worked together for a little
Yeah.
bit before I switched stores.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, has anybody seen my sister today? She's supposed to be here. She works today. Um, and then people, customers, we would be like bickering at work. And you like in our vest at work. And people are like, y'all are sisters. And we're like, yeah. And it's like, yeah, y'all look alike. And we're like, no,
No,
you almost had it there.
you were close. You were close. No, I fucking love that. Also, good answer for being relevant, and I love that your mom being your best friend.
Yeah, in the story, Maggie always tries to match like either the same color or the same like theme as her mom. Like I always dress them as similar as possible.
Yeah.
Even when I send them to other kingdoms, they're dressed very as similar as possible. She just wants to be like in the same color or in the same like style as her mom. And when me and my mom go on vacations, we always have a matching shirt. We always have a day where we're matching completely in like our travel photos. And I'm like, no, that's us. And if we will accidentally match all the time. And I'm like, I need you to have your own personality. And she's like, you got yours from me.
Oh, oh, that's so cute. No, that fuck again, that's awesome. Hey, be best friends with your mom. If you're best friends with your mom, she sticks with you through thick and thin, no matter what. She will love you. And then unfortunately, there are some moms out there that may not be the best, but you can find surrogate moms or surrogate sisters without a doubt. But I think it's a really good answer for Maggie. Now, you talked about sending your Sims to different kingdoms and different stories. We talked a little bit about that in the Simstagram podcast. Fucking lay it on here. Like, what? How do you do it? Why do you do it? Why do you do 80 people sitting in a royal photo?
Never
Like,
again. Never again.
yeah,
I have not hosted a collab since I told you that story.
I know.
Um, so we look at it as like visiting, the royals visit other
Yeah,
kingdoms on tours and stuff.
yeah.
So it's similar to that. For big events, we send each other our Sims. So there's a whole like alliance thing going on. I'm not a part of that, so I'm not sure how that works. Um, but that one's awesome too, where there's a bunch of accounts where they seem to have events occasionally, and
Hmm.
it's all the Sims that are all the kingdoms that are part of that alliance, and it's multiple pages. That seems really cool. I want to kind of do something like that one day. Um, but so to send a sim for a lot of people, um, you dress your Sims in your game, how you want them to look. Then you
Hmm.
use Transporter to um download them with their CC.
Hmm.
Um, I have to remember to remove my mods. Please remove your mods. Um, because you can break someone's game. I did that on accident the first time I sent someone my Sims. I felt so bad. I
Oh
also keep forgetting to
no.
stop sending merge files because they're too large. But a lot of my CCI they download it as merge files, and I don't know how to unmerge them. So that's just how they exist in my mods folder. And a lot of people don't like that
Oh,
because it's too
yeah.
much.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but once it's downloaded, we use a lot of us use we download to get a link to the file, and
Hmm.
then a lot of people put it in. Ooh, voice went out there.
You're good.
Um, it's either like a Google Doc or a Google Sheets,
Hmm.
and you put your link in there, and the person can click on it and download your Sims into their game. I have a problem where some of my CC for some reason on my computer does not register that I have it on my computer, even though I clearly do because I dress my Sims in it. So when I send it, it's not attached to the link. It's like it's not in the file.
Oh,
So
fascinating.
people consistently have to redress my Sims for me. And none of us can figure like I've like been in group chats where we're trying to troubleshoot why that's happening. None of us can figure it out. So people are always like, well, I had to put them in this because it disappeared, or she doesn't have any hair. Does this work? And I'm like, whatever you put them in that's somewhat similar to what I put them in, I'm not picky. Um, I've been having an issue because I send um Maggie and Kailani places, and their kingdom color is brown. And a lot of the collabs want them to wear their kingdom colors, but then like I ran into one where she was like, no dark colors.
Oh
Um,
shit.
and I'm like, their kingdom color is like a chocolatey brown.
Yeah.
I that does not work for me. And so I had to get approval on which outfits I could have them in brown and which outfits I put them in different colors.
Interesting. That seems intense. Not offense to that person. Just seems a little
Yeah.
intense.
It was because I'm like, I want to participate, and you asked specifically for this day for them to be in their kingdom's color.
Yeah.
Also,
Why
I have
would
a
it
problem.
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, also have a problem finding beautiful browns
Yeah.
for them and
If you
for CC.
if you want pink or blue,
Hmm.
you're fucking good. You got your Disney colors, you're fine. I don't think I've ever seen a brown ball gown.
Oh, I have a couple,
I have to
but they're
look now.
very rare.
Yes.
Um, they're very rare. It's hard. And then even then they're not always the big stupid poofy ones we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
They're the like reasonably sized poofed ones.
Oh, you like the like a classic A line kind of deal. Instead of a
Yeah.
B ball gown, you gotta yeah.
Hmm.
I
Um, and then a lot of times I'll have them in tans or nudes to balance it out.
okay. Yeah. Yeah, because again, more tans are just I hope you know the next time I look turn on Sims, which will probably be at some point this I'm gonna go through my ball gowns to see hey them in brown. CC creators, I know you listen to this. Make brown ball gowns, more of them,
Yes.
please.
Yeah. I'm thinking about having a couple commissioned.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, get some. I just did that for some custom poses I needed because I can't figure out how to make custom CC, nor do I want to. Okay.
I was gonna say I'd rather just pay someone who's already good at it than try
Yeah,
to figure it out.
exactly. Like I paid for custom hair, a couple custom poses because I wanted hair that moved, looked like it moved, not like
Instead
flat.
of it went through their arm.
Yes. Or because I wanted like a hairstyle, like just like a Medusa style hair. But like it looks movement when the picture's up. You would never do it for actual gameplay because it looks like a fucking mane. It's like this big. But yeah, just custom like hair when they're casting a spell and shit like that.
Yeah.
That shit's cool.
That sounds so cool.
We need more of that. That was expensive. That one was a very expensive one, but it was well worth
Yeah,
it
but
because I needed
you
it.
also say I'd rather pay though.
Yeah.
And like, first of all, now that person has that. And I don't care if I pay for it and then you put it on your Patreon.
Yeah.
Babe, that's cool.
Yo,
Make your money.
make your money. Now, okay, I got a
Because
couple more
EA is
questions.
not gonna pay you.
No, 100%. Is there fucking fuck curse force or whatever the fuck that thing's called? I've
No,
asked
I use Curse Forge. There's a couple mods I haven't had to update because I'm using
no,
Curse
but like
Forge.
the money that
Oh
comes
yeah,
with it.
no.
That fuck
Yeah,
the
no.
good for us game players, but fuck the people wanting to make money off it. That's the more
No.
like yeah, and all the EA's strict rules of like how you to upload it when you have to upload it. But anyways,
Yeah.
I have a couple more questions. We're gonna wrap this up because we can't do a 2.5 hour interview today.
No.
I
No,
know
we
you
can't. I
wanted to
have to go eat because I
same.
woke up and jumped right on this.
Okay. Well, as I was reading your profile,
Mhm.
obviously Mara Ray was a huge inspiration. I feel like Mara Ray is a huge inspiration for a lot of royal storytellers. That's not the first time I have heard of that. What about Mara Ray's storytelling is such an inspiration to the royal storyteller community?
I think it's the idea of a different type of gameplay, first of all.
Okay.
Especially if you're already like a creative and you like telling stories already, the idea of like like I said, royals don't feel like real people.
No, they
They
don't.
feel like Barbie dolls. And I think that's where like the obsession with like Princess Diana comes from. Like they don't feel like real people. They feel like these people you live vicariously through.
Hmm.
And so when you're already living vicariously through your Sims, it's like a double aspect of it. And then you think about like throwing all these lavish parties and being in all these crazy scenarios. And it's just brilliant, especially hers because her Sims just get into stuff.
Yeah.
They just like they just be doing stuff. And I'm like, and then you can watch her slowly like devolve into like, I don't know where to go with this. How do I work with this? I don't, and it's just so funny.
I I love that. I honestly I want her on the show. I have reached out so many times to try to get her on here and I've never heard anything back. So I hope to one
Yeah, I don't think
day.
she checks her DMs. I think she gets a lot.
Yeah,
So I don't think she checks them.
I know. And there's no other way I can communicate with her.
Yeah.
So I hope to one day she listens to
I'll
this.
catch her on a stream.
Well, I don't know when she stream. I feel like she streams when I'm
Um,
at work.
yeah, she streams at like 5 p.m.
Yeah, I'm at
Well,
work,
it's 5 p.m. for me in Chicago.
fortunately.
Um, yeah.
Yeah, but again, if anyone can get a hold of her, go
Next
that
time I'm on a stream, well, I sleep during the day now, but the next time I catch one, I got you.
yeah, she was honestly I had a list of people I wanted to get on this season. She was the only person I wasn't able to nail down. So I want her
And I
on
think
my
she would
season.
love doing something like this, though she did just go back to like a regular job.
Yeah, I heard that. I've heard she's gone back, but again, I will make an exception. I will do whatever it takes. I want her on because again, she's such a cool storyteller. I think I would want to dive in and learn a little bit more about her because she's such an inspiration to so many royal storytellers out there that I think it'd be really cool to get a chance to interview her. But the last question I have for you is talking about inspiration. What inspiration can you give to anybody listening to this podcast to start their own royal story?
Oh, my best inspiration slash advice is run with it. Whatever story you have, whether it's realistic, whether it's just fantastical, run with it. There are hundreds of us already, and we still all read and
Mhm.
like each other's stories and want to collab together because your story, everything has already been done
Mhm.
everywhere at all points in history. We've reached that point in existence.
Yep.
So you are unique in that even if the trope has already been done, the way you choose to do it probably hasn't.
Yes. I think that is such fantastic advice because I think there's what seven original stories in the whole world and
Yeah.
we've all, done them to death. Like literally as any storyteller, everything's a carbon copy. Let's take Lion
Hmm.
King to Hamlin. Okay, Hamlet, okay? It's a fucking carbon copy, but it's how you tell your story and how you make it stand out and how passionate you are. And I think the more passionate you are about it, the better storyteller. I can tell you're very passionate, which makes your storytelling skills phenomenal. Well, Gabby, it has been an absolute pleasure getting to sit down and talk to you today. I get to learn a lot more about you this week. You have now become the first person that will be on 3 podcasts consecutively. For the next 3 weeks, you
Yeah.
will hear Gabby every week. So
Oh, that's so funny.
yes, it's just how the posting schedule came to be. But I'm
Oh
excited.
my.
I am excited for the next couple of weeks and getting to know you
I
a little
am
bit more.
too.
But to wrap this all up, why don't we tell everybody where we can find your story?
Um, I am Sims Royalty 22 on Instagram and Twitch. My Twitch schedule is weird now because I work overnights. Um, but yeah, that's all I really got.
Awesome. Please go check out Gabby. Links are going to be below. Also, how's the Awake chocolate treating you? I know what you liked it last time. I'm just still checking in.
Um, because I balanced out a little bit more, I don't eat them very often. When I first started, I felt like they was doing something, but I had to switch to coffee because I needed something
Mm,
stronger and
I
a bit
got
more
you.
instant. Um, and now I'm probably gonna start eating them again though, because the D&D group is meeting on Saturdays right before I go to work. So I'm gonna be waking up at 5 to run D&D from 5:30 to 9 and then going to work from 10 to 7 a.m.
Yeah, you're definitely going to need something. It's so funny because I messaged because I was like, yo, try these. And then I got a new job where now I get up at 6 a.m. I fucking went out and bought them. And
Yeah.
they still work, guys. So anybody who wants Awake chocolate is phenomenal. It is caffeinated. I mean, all chocolate's caffeinated, but this one is specifically meant to keep
Intentionally caffeinated.
intentionally caffeinated. It tastes really good,
Caffeinated.
keeps you awake. And then one piece is, I think, is equivalent to like a half a cup of coffee or something like that. It's either
Yeah, and then it recommends don't eating more than like 3.
yeah, don't eat more. Don't do what I did 2 weeks ago. So I think I had a cyst burst, but I couldn't do anything about it because I was at a new job. So I was in so much pain. I had to take so much Advil because I was in so much pain, because it was 18 hours of straight pain and nothing would take it away. So I'm so tired from all the drugs that I'm taking so much Awake chocolate because I'm so tired.
No.
Oh yeah. So I was like fucking bouncing off the fuck. I was like, let's go at like 6 p.m. And then by 7, I was like out like away. But anyways, Gabby, absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming around here today. Thank you. Of course, thank you for roasting my ass, because you should not have been your 4th
I was
episode.
just joking.
Oh,
it's what I joined.
I know. But I cannot thank you enough for coming here today, and thank you for making the 100th episode so special. I very much appreciate you being there. I'm excited. Our friendship is just starting, and I cannot wait to see where it grows. I'm so excited to see your storytelling grow, and I'm just very happy that we are good friends. Well, Gabby, you are welcome. It's been an absolute pleasure. Please go check out Gabby. Like I said, the links are going to be below. Please go check out her stream as well. A girl that can stream is a girl that can get it. So anyways, have a great rest of your night, okay?
You too.
Bye.